from OLED to LCD, from 60 Hertz to 120, from 64 gigabytes of memory to 256, and many other differences. Hello guys, I'm here today because I got the Switch 2, which I reported on the Telegram channel, and the WhatsApp channel, which I recommend you to follow, where we post a lot of we not only share deals, but we also feature products available for pre-order or that are hard to find today. Here are just a few examples for you to check out. Technical features, differences between the OLED Switch, the last Switch before the 2, and finally the Switch 2. Because also the price very high. We have a console that comes to 509 euros from the 2 and 99 of the OLED Switch. Let's go therefore to see them together, especially the differences both of the display consoles, but particularly when trying to connect it to the television as well. All right, everyone, it's clear that our dimensions are significantly larger now. Switch 2 is growing in size significantly. By the way, Xylof being activated. We can see that the LCD display has a very good resolution, 1080 against the 720 of the previous console. At first glance, it's clear that the OLED blacks are noticeably deeper than those on LCD screens. However, this difference becomes less prominent when viewing them while playing certain games. The console's dimensions are approximately 242 millimeters in width, 102 millimeters in depth, and 13 millimeters in height as it continues to expand. Thickness for 420 grams with the Joy-Con, while here we have 272 by 166 by 13.9. Thickness that does not change, but it changes mostly the size of the screen, also slightly. The Joy-Con are bigger Joy-Con too. And as you can see, the first difference is in the size. By the way, the weight with the Joy-Con 2 of 534 grams, we go up about 114 grams for the Switch 2. Obviously, Nintendo has thought well of the users. So many complaints over the years, both for the slide system that is not really practical, just comfortable, as if you have had a console, you have tried it. You know how sled system works with the release system here. Whereas here we have just another system that is with the Joy with 2. We have a magnetic system which should provide more reliability over time, but look at the convenience of inserting the Joy with quickly of going to detach it. Naturally, there is a safety lock included for effortless attachment and detachment, which enhances the overall practicality and convenience of this setup tremendously. Buttons practically identical, except for a rate that I will tell you later. I will not spoil anything, but what changes is the build quality and the optical system. Of the keys, we now have a system with the Joy with 2, which should ensure a greater reliability over time, because we know that these break all the time, especially the analogs, which with obviously this system have the defect of drift that is after a little bit of use. Our character walks alone, wandering through the journey of life by themselves, facing whatever comes their way. Alone, so over time we have a wear and tear, especially of the pads, that here instead changes, and we should finally have solved this problem. So it is likely that these are, let's say, eternal. They accompany us for the whole time of the console, and we don't have to change them more often. Obviously, the pads are also much more comfortable. The stick system is completely improved, much more sensitive, much more comfortable, but above all, bigger. Back for the old ones, quieter for the new ones, but especially the completely different button return speed. You have to try it to feel the difference. By the way, there is, as you see, the rate I was telling you before, the game chat system, game chat, that is now being introduced, and it is important. It seems, for those who don't know consoles, a stupid thing. But actually, the game chat is a system that should ensure faster communication because of the chat list creation system, or otherwise because of the screen sharing system. With your friends, you have an application that is now... It is possible to exploit and use the Nintendo application at any time without having to close it, thanks to the Switch 2. This allows you to work on developing the communication system seamlessly. Using a screen sharing system for playing online games with friends can make the game chat much more complicated, but often necessary for coordination. Also includes a microphone for the Switch, which also has a background noise reduction system, so a Switch that, by the way, more complete in addition to the port USB-C that we also have on the low side here is introduced. If you see, the top features a second Type-C port intended for applications, serving as an additional communication device. It is always available for connectivity. Of the installation of a webcam, obviously the button for the cartridges, which are practically identical for the Switch 1 and for the Switch 2, is very, very similar. Spring-loaded insertion and release jack. There are no major changes to the design of the key and power buttons in the Type-C phone. They have been slightly enlarged and improved with no dissipation system in place. Rates L, ZL, and ZR, which are pretty much the same, have been slightly enlarged. As you can see, there is a greater curve of rates that goes down almost to the side, and again, the feedback is definitely improved. The stand is obviously easily adaptable from the old to accommodate the new changes. It now features a thinner design. Here, the micro SD slot is always conveniently located for easy insertion. At the bottom, you will find the micro SD card slot located on the left side. This is essential to expand the memory, although this 256 gigabyte one. Extra memory should be added to accommodate potential growth in the size of games over time, and we should monitor this trend to see if they expand significantly in terms of gigabytes. The menu and the navigation system is almost identical, slightly changes the wider layout here. We have a taller console rightly, but basically we have the online section here. We have the game center that you can also click with the physical button, or with the touch button, the shop, the gallery, and all the settings which obviously have a similar structure. I would like to point out that we currently have a Wi-Fi 6 connection here, as opposed to the previous Wi-Fi standard. This upgrade provides us with increased speed and improved performance. As online games continue to evolve, communication plays a vital role. The console's dock station, also serving as a charging base, enhances the overall gaming experience for streaming and other purposes. Connected close to the TV and thus change the gaming experience. Also here we have significant differences, not subtle. The dock station, as you can see, changes in shape. We now have black colored dock station with Switch 2 written on it, and this is obviously the old smaller logo on the back. We have a similar release system. Here the big difference is that we find an active dissipation system. Obviously the console going to take advantage of the 4K on the TV. So we have a big difference. Later we will check out the console with an active ventilation system that helps cool it down efficiently. This feature is essential as we plan to utilize it to its full potential. We require additional cooling for the GPU and CPU components of this console to handle 4K graphics. The console clearly needs more effective cooling mechanisms. Always the cable to pull. Sold the power supply, which is always Type-C, but it grows in terms of watts, but the HDMI changes. In this case, we go from 1.4 to 2.1. Differences, but the first difference that we can notice is obviously that is the resolution output 3840 by 2160. Finally, we have a decent and current resolution with the start and modern 60 Hz. HDR10. I remind you that has this console also on, say, the small monitor. VRR enables variable refresh rate, low latency mode, ensuring optimal settings for smoother experience. By the way, we have the possibility to activate the 120 Hz output. Obviously, with 1080, 1440, and 4K, we are on 60. We have all detail. We get that we have on TV finally. Pleasant even on consoles, something that instead we do not have it at all in the old version. However, on the new version, we can achieve a maximum of 1080p at 60 FPS. This difference in quality is quite significant. Take a look at it yourself. Was not at all no on 55, 60-inch TVs. We were obviously seeing all that we say, the old gen of a 1080 by now. We are used anyway to 4K TVs. But I tell you, what is the technical aspect? 4K resolutions, Mario World. Obviously, I'm not telling you, I'm not talking about the game, because here we are on another comparison. 60 hertz colors, and especially a fluidity finally decent. So for me, the difference is remarkable. Also in the TV part, obviously this is the support to create the actual controller when we play the TV. It is very, very similar to the previous. Just as mentioned earlier, the key feedback has been significantly enhanced in comparison to our previous console, improving the experience for both our old physical and digital games. Another new feature is the ability to make a working mouse by utilizing the advanced optical sensors of the Joy-Con 2. This allows for a more precise and efficient user experience. Switch 2 controllers just like pointers, and we will see them integrated not only in games but also in applications. The Switch 2 is definitely brighter compared to the previous OLEDs, and the difference is noticeable. I think also from the video. Also, what we can notice is the resolution now at 1080 instead of 720. The screen looks super defined. The OLED also, even if it appears less bright, has brighter colors, more loaded with a higher contrast, appears instead more gray. Many old games, on the other hand, need an additional package that you have to buy separately with a cost that usually starts from 10 euros. Switch 2, even if the rendering of this display is certainly very good. Let's continue with the autonomy. I haven't had a chance to fully test it yet, but I have noticed a decrease in autonomy. However, I will refrain from commenting on it for now. Compared to the previous one, when we play obviously without the power, despite having grown the battery, I do not notice, obviously. Advancements in autonomy are on the rise, not marred by the heightened resolution, but primarily by the more demanding hardware that enables higher performance levels. Needs more power, the autonomy drops, as obviously I have also seen, let's say, a little online. However, I desire to spend some time and possibly share my thoughts here in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Additionally, I have provided my Telegram and WhatsApp channels for further communication. Follow the offers, and if it is not currently available, follow us on Telegram, because as soon as it is available on Amazon, we will post it to you. A greeting to all, and see you next time.